some other things that can help, that can keep us from being grateful, are complaining, comparison, comparing ourselves to others around us, unforgiveness, lack of forgiveness. And we're going to start with talking about complaining. And that is kind of the opposite of gratitude. So instead of recognizing and appreciating what we've received, instead of focusing on those things, what we end up focusing on and sometimes seeking out bad things. And a little bit says, maybe for every complaint, we should come up with 2 positive. That is a good exercise if we can remember to do it. It's about building those habits. Yeah. The research shows the opposite results of gratitude when we complain. So instead of increasing our happiness, it increases our unhappiness, and it rewires our brain into negative thinking instead of positive thinking. And it's bad for our health, and it increases our depression, and it increases our risk of heart disease. This has been, research is proving that it increases stress, it increases our risk of heart disease and bad health and depression. And another one of her Happiness Lab podcasts that I'll include links to all these. PJ and Alex Love to Gripe is what it's called. And in there it talks about, we think that venting helps us, and we often can bond with others through a shared grievance. That happens a lot. And it depends, though. Some things we think it helps us, but it really depends on the type of venting that we're doing. If we're complaining for the sake of complaining without trying to get anything helpful out of it, like change it or help each other, then that is a negative type of complaining. If you're doing it to help you to move beyond it, to help you to solve a problem, to identify a why and help solve a problem, that's very helpful. And an example of that would be what the people went through during the Holocaust, to be able to share what they went through and try to figure out the why of why that happened, to help them solve a problem and move beyond that. That is a good type of venting and talking about and sharing pain. That's a good way. But complaining about like any little thing like this, I don't know if they have this problem in France, but in America, the stickers on the fruit is something that is very annoying for almost everyone. Because it leaves all this residue on the fruit. And so, yeah, I'm starting to complain about it. So those kinds of things that we can't do anything about, we should focus less on those things. Focus more on the things that are going to help us move beyond and make positive change. Those are the kinds of things that are okay to vent about, and we should actually do that because that helps us heal and move beyond those things. Like what's going on right now with Ukraine. We are afraid. A lot of people are afraid. A lot of people are hurting for the people in Ukraine right now.
Yeah,
we should talk about
all this. I was about.
What was that?
I said when all this started, I was very afraid.
Yeah.
Like insanely.
Yeah. And you're a lot closer to it than we are over here. And yeah, it can be scary. And so talking about why is that happening? Those are good things to talk about, but not so much so that that we let it take over and consume us and make us worry and make us anxious. And there was a good article that I found that hopefully helped you during that. And we have a support group Discord channel in our Discord server that is called Support Group, and there's an article in there about how to deal with what's going on in Ukraine if you're anxious about what's happening. And that was
it kind of helped me like a lot.
That's good. Good.
Yeah.
So talking about those things and helping with those, that's good because we're helping each other out. But just complaining for the sake of complaining actually rewires us into thinking negatively. And research shows that complaining for the sake of it is actually makes us feel worse, and complaining to others about it makes them feel worse. And even the small things add up over time, and it builds a negative habit, and it rewires us to start thinking negatively. And again, God loves us and he wants what's best for us. And he talks about in James 5:9, do not complain, brothers and sisters, against one another, so that you may not be judged. Behold, the judge is standing right at the door. And Philippians 2:14-15 says, do everything without complaining or arguing, so that you may be blameless and pure children of God without fault in a crooked and perverse generation, in which you shine as lights in the world. So Jesus mentioned in the Sermon on the Mount that we reflect him, how we act, our attitudes towards life and towards each other. If we claim to be his followers, people watch us to see how we behave. And if we show a complaining and an argumentative attitude, we're not truly reflecting his character. We're reflecting a negativity and a darkness. And we're called to be lights. We're called to reflect his good and his merciful and loving character. So then if we're doing nothing but complaining and arguing, we're not being good representatives. But it's not just about being good representatives. It's also about working towards our own good mental health and each other's good mental health. So did anyone have anything to add to that? Any thoughts?
Yeah, like I know, like when I'm sad, I know when if I talk to people about my problems, at least the people that know that I'm going with some problems, they know that, like, because some people, like, we can talk about problems because they will say, oh, you try to annoy me, or like I'm bored, or like they just can't stand for problems because you're not enough close to him. Like that's kind of the thing. Like I'm gonna be sure, but like the fact that like if you had 100 friends but no quality one, and when you have
Hello.
problems, no one's gonna help you.
Yeah,
Hi.
you need quality friends. Hi, Yoris. How are you doing? We're having our service right now. How are you doing?
Cool. I'm tired a little bit.
Very tired.
Yeah.
Uh, did you have anything else to say? Yes, or is that? It is about.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like um you can tell problems to the people that can understand you in the way that, like, they have something like maybe like you have something in common, like games or passion or something, and like it's probably like only like when you go very close to him that you can talk about your problems. Because if you like you don't like they could very handle it because they don't also know you that much to see if this is well or this is okay or something like this.
Yeah, you got to build those relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where
But
the
it's not
quality over quantity. Yeah.
yeah. But to be honest, like it's not that hard. You just need to find the good people. There are always good people, and I experienced that in VRChat. There are
That's good.
some noisy people, but there are also some good people to talk.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's kind of the same in your life, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, in real life, in our physical world, I don't know. I guess Ready Player One calls it IRL. Earl. Yeah. Ready Player Two, actually. Good book.